Hi guys, welcome back to Yaz Hub. It's been a while other than the Debates with Mates podcast, but we're back for a Glastonbury Festival review. So I did a little bit of recording whilst I was there, but after sort of the Wednesday, Thursday, it was mainly just recording performances, which is obviously all copyrighted, so I'm really sorry that anything I've shown has no audio to it because I've had to remove it so I don't get sued for copyright. Another apology I want to make is for the brightness in some of the cutaways in this video. The reason for that is it was 27 degrees on the Wednesday and basically it was just that bright that my GoPro was like, cannot cope. My final apology is for my face basically being either cut off or really close up, and the reason for that is literally it was that packed with people that I wanted people to actually be able to hear the audio. Anyway guys, let's get into Glastonbury Festival 2024. We're going to talk security, we're going to talk best places to camp, which acts I saw, stages, the crowds. We're talking about it all in this review. I got my tickets, literally woke up late on whatever the date was in November, the Sunday. My boyfriend was up, he had all his devices on, as everybody does. Mum was up, was doing the same. My friends, they were doing the same. I woke up a minute past 9 or whatever, a minute past whatever the hour was they were released. Needed a piss, as you do. Went on the toilet, logged in while I was on the toilet. Literally, the ping request must have sent straight through because it was like putting your details, and I was like, ah! So shout out my boyfriend. He sorted that because I was panicking, and that is how we got tickets. So lucky. I'd never tried any previous year, so yeah, I was incredibly lucky. But we wanted to know how most people got their tickets. Is there a way that once you've got your tickets, you can get them again? What is the crack? But it turns out that most people, well, that we spoke to, they actually work there or volunteer there. And I tried to do a little Googling to find out how many volunteer roles there are there. And it says online there's like 2,000, which is, 0.1% of the capacity if it's 210,000. But I don't believe that, because everyone, bar one family I spoke to, was working there and had the crew wristbands. So I feel like, a good 20 to 30% at least must be volunteers. But if anybody knows the answer to that, again, please let me know in the comments because I would love to know. So as I mentioned earlier, I arrived on the Wednesday and we had paid £200 for a camper van pass. We were all first timers, so we never even tried to get camper van tickets before. So that was a little annoying because we got a place called Bath and West, which, don't get me wrong, it was amazing. We had flushing toilets, we had showers, and it was a really nice experience, to be honest, compared to the usual horrible compost toilets and, well, queues that go on for 2 hours or something for a shower. So we were lucky in that respect, and there was a 24-hour shuttle. I say shuttle, it was double-decker buses, but anyway, that was 24-hour, and I can vouch for them. It doesn't matter if you were there in the evening, afternoon, morning, or, well, to be honest, a lot of time morning for us, because we'd get it at between 5 and 8 a.m. in the morning. So they were really convenient, and it did help to sober you up and helps you to sleep, because at a lot of festivals you're still buzzing, you've got tinnitus still going through your ears, and you're not ready for bed, and you lie there and you toss and you turn, you just hope and pray that you'll fall asleep, and half the time you don't. But because we had all this walking to do, then the bus journey, and then me and my boyfriend Benito, we'd have a shower as well when we got back, so we didn't have to mess around with any of that once we were awake. So by the time we'd done all that, we were ready for bed then, even though it was like 8:30 in the morning, like I say. But definitely worth it. We're here at Glastonbury Festival for the very first time. We've just got set up with our vans and tents. had a couple of tinnies, and we're about to head into the actual festival because we're in the Bath and West parking, I think it's called. So yeah, so we're going to go into the main festival, set up a tent there and let you guys know how it goes. So far the toilets around here are alright, definitely not the worst I've ever seen, and yeah, nice chill vibes around. Some people have music on, got some nice neighbours, so yeah, keep you updated. We're on a red hot sweaty bus, sticking to the seat. It's really uncomfortable. Fan doesn't even cut it. So hopefully we get there soon. So far it took us 45 minutes in that queue to get on, but the woman said keep your voice down because most people wait a lot longer, but somehow we were lucky. Yeah, luckily it doesn't smell on here despite carrying people to and fro all day. And we have, right now you can't believe how lovely view, just a lovely view of houses. We have had a lovely view, so I'll update you once we've passed security. So we're just walking into Silver Haze. We're now inside the festival and there's no security. All they want is a ticket. They give you a wristband, they scan your ticket and you walk right on through, and it's pretty obvious it's one of the most populated festivals or places on the planet right now, because look, and this is quiet because I've got my camera out. I've chosen somewhere quieter. Another thing, it says online you can't bring trolleys to Glastonbury, and when we were waiting for the shuttle bus, some people got had to take all the stuff out of these trolleys and they had bare stuff. So we were thinking poor them, and now we're even more poor them because it turns out most people who've brought trolleys have gotten through, so I'd be fuming. Getting into the festival on the Thursday, you just heard me mention a little bit about the bus journey. That was a sweltering hot bus. That day it was just hot, as I mentioned as well in the cutaways. I got a heat stroke and had to throw up in a bag, which I felt like such a dick. Imagine, first Glastonbury experience, you've had a couple of tinnies but not even pissed, and there I am on the floor like throwing up. Staff getting me a bloody camping chair because they feel sorry for me. Could only happen to me. Anyway, napped it off and yeah, all good. But security, sorry, completely avoided what I was about to talk about. There is none, pretty much. They literally peek through your bags, they don't touch you up, they don't feel you, they don't ask you to empty your pockets, nothing. No electronic scanners, nothing. You just walk through, they say, can I look in your bag? You open your bag, they have a quick look round, don't really take anything out, don't really have a good search. Just, it seemed like they were checking for glass bottles, but I reckon you could have took loads of drugs with you and they wouldn't have taken them off you. I did actually wonder, because when you're in the festival, there are baggies everywhere. I mean, the capacity is 210,000 people. So, you know, even if 10% of those are drug takers, that's over 2,000 people dropping baggies on the floor. And I was just wondering if there's perhaps an unspoken rule where if security find drugs, will they confiscate them or do you get to keep them? Because with Michael Levis setting it up all those years ago and being a big hippie and having the whole hippie culture, obviously they were all on a lot of drugs back then, maybe still are now. So maybe there's an unspoken rule where security are asked to leave the drugs alone and they're just focused on making sure no glass enters the festival. Now what we did, because we obviously weren't going to make the big trip back to our tents and camper vans, with it being sort of 15-minute drive away, we decided to take a 6-man tent into the festival. We got in there about 1 p.m. at most in the afternoon on the Wednesday, and there were no spaces for tents really at all. We thought it was going to be easy. We thought, yeah, we'll get in there by midday sort of time so that we have loads of time to set up the tents and there'll be loads of spaces still. We were wrong. We were so wrong. We knew we wanted to camp near Arcadia because we thought that most of the acts we would see would be near Arcadia. And also it's a pretty central area. It's like the Pyramid stage and the other stage and the Glade. So we thought it was a good decision, but like I say, we did manage to get a space, but on the Saturday night people were basically sat inside our tents. They were sat on our tent doorstep because the Arcadia stage became that packed that it pushed them across the pathway into where the tents were, which wasn't great, but you know, the people were sound, nobody went into the tent, nobody touched anything, so it didn't matter too much. But yeah, that's something worth thinking about if you just don't camp near pathway unless you have no choice like we did. Although to be fair, we were dead set on camping in that area. Perhaps if we looked a bit further afield, then maybe there would have been a lot more spaces. But anyway, we got somewhere and we weren't going to sleep there anyway. It was just somewhere to drop stuff off during the day and somewhere for a bit of respite if we needed it. So yeah, it worked out anyway. So it's still day one at Glastonbury. I'm about to have a 2-hour nap because I got sunstroke really bad and I ended up throwing up into a bag. There's a really nice member of staff though who gave me a camping chair and some ibuprofen, so shout out to him because he was dead helpful. Yeah, now we're walking around somewhere, I have no idea where, but pretty cool. Me and Benito got no sleep last night, so I'm pretty sleep deprived. And this is quite a good place to be for sleep deprivation, I must say.
We're at the healing stage.
Oh, you're at the healing.
I don't know.
I don't actually know if this is the healing fields, but apparently they exist, so
Wherever it is,
could be.
feels...
Very cute. No fish though, sadly. There he is. Let's continue. This is the green field. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting it to be this busy on the Wednesday for some reason. Boy, was I wrong. There's a little blackboard here, and right onto these little things. There is one.
I nearly said it wasn't very healing because first I just put look behind you. So I'm about to amend this.
Balance it out.
Yeah, there you go. Yin and yang. Pan away. Job's good and off we go.
So here we have the icon stage. Looks like an awful crowd caused some severe damage. So we're going to come here even if we don't know who's playing at some point, just so we can see how the stage works, because it looks really cool on the angle. I don't actually know which corner of Glastonbury we're in right now, but I can tell you it's not that busy at the moment. But that could be because everyone's heading towards Glastonbury student. Yours going. I love a reduced sticker. So we must be in Shangri-La then.
Like they're all sick. Everyone's saving the good seats.
Yeah. Listen to go. Life's great, yours isn't. This message is brought to you by Abbott. Yeah, it's very, very boomtowny, isn't it? Isn't there a district in Boomtown called Bangwilla? Bangwilla. I think there is. So yeah. Boomtown Wives over here. So we're coming into this, the opposite end of where we've just walked round, I believe, because we saw this on the opposite end. It said tiger somewhere, I remember. There is a lot going on at Glastonbury. A whole lot going on. Crazy. Did we go the wrong way?
Massive shit in the winter.
Yeah.
A veces es muy complicado cambiar la situación.
Mad place really. The bars have got better music on than the stages, but it is only Wednesday night, so I'm not giving it a deal. Can't even know what time, check. It is. I got 0% on my watch. What time is it? 10 to 9. It ain't nice. Watering the plants. It's like very high techy around here, but it still looks like natural and traditional and organic. And there is the rainbow tower that everybody knows about. One thing about Glastonbury is the phone signal's actually bloody brilliant here.
We thought it was going to be awful, like at most festivals, but it's working. Bad news. We've contacted each other when we've sort of split off and went to meet up again. It's been great. Yeah, now we're just going to join all those thousands of people up on the hill trying to watch the sunset, which looks like it's behind clouds.
There was also a drone show on the Wednesday night that we went to, which was pretty cool, but annoyingly me and my partner thought it was a little bit underwhelming because we'd watched a drone show on America's Got Talent that did Simon Cowell's face and things, and that was really cool and out there. So Glastonbury's was a little bit underwhelming, but had we not seen that America's Got Talent audition, then we probably would have thought it was one of the best things we'd ever seen, because it was cool. It was just a bit slow, and they missed a bit of a trick really, because they could have had music on but it wasn't, so it was just a drone show and people going, oh, isn't that nice, and then just losing interest, and you could just hear everybody else's conversations, and same as they could hear ours. But it would have just been a lot better if they'd had some music playing. And so yeah, that was a little bit, again, underwhelming. Then we went over and watched the fireworks, which again were really, really cool. But here in Staffordshire, we have the Newcastle under Lyme Mayor's firework display, and that's incredible. So again, I think I've been spoilt seeing better things. So when I got to Glastonbury, I think I was expecting that much, that things did come across a little underwhelming. But if you haven't seen those sort of things before, then I'm sure you'll love it and have a great time, and it's something new and it's something different. I've just been, you know, fortunate enough to see better versions outside of the festival. We're on day 2 of Glastonbury Festival, and it's nowhere near as hot today. I think it's 20 degrees, not as sunny, so the sun would be nice, but we have a carnival.
Moses, didn't you? Mosey? Oh. Yeah,
Mosey.
Mosey? And the why?
See,
Why does it sound like
I thought you said Mosey.
I was in Moses. No.
See Moses and Jesus, and then
anyway.
sort of three lions, not
anyway,
three lions.
now
Three kings.
Yeah, anyway.
Sorry, we're
Back
running
to
the
the
video.
story. Yeah. Anyway, so we didn't see Full Friction set. We then went to try and see Shy FX.
Very full.
I can't actually remember what that one's called. What was Shy FX at? What was Shy FX at?
What's the place called?
Yeah.
It was called Stonebridge Bar.
Stonebridge Bar, there you go. But you can't get anywhere near it, and I should have got my phone out then, but I didn't. Anyway, now we're just walking around, went on the pier, pretty much walked through it, so again didn't get any footage, but now we're on the way to 10 Years of Jungle at the temple. So yeah, and that's probably the last time I'll film today because I'll forget.
Look on me face, you know see how it's good when if you kill a sound boy, if you step on the shoe. Rumble ass clock, man a pass through. When you shut one finger, you know where you feel. Put up your right hand and your left one, two, and then gun finger, that's a the gun finger. Gun finger, that's a the gun finger. You put a strong like a lion with a galena. It you know your dance, bad man, not finger. Gun finger, that's a the gun finger.
Yo, Glastonbury, thank you so much. A proper vibe.
Glastonbury is packed and you need to be prepared to spend a fraction of your festival stuck in queues and crowds. The only big headline act I saw that was on sort of last was Coldplay. And it took us over an hour to get back to the tent from the pyramid stage. The set, don't get me wrong, was amazing, really enjoyed it. I did get piss on my ankles. My sister, it was her first ever festival, she just turned 16. She got a lot of piss on her ankles, but mainly during the Two Door Cinema Club performance. Yeah, just a lot of people pissing all over the floor really, even though there are signs everywhere saying don't piss on the land. People don't give a fuck. To be honest, even if they did and they tried to get out of the crowd to go to a toilet, they might not have made it if they were desperate. But yeah, girls, if you're going to piss in a crowd, please crouch all the way down. Don't just get your fanny out and start pissing like a lot of you were, because you're literally covering the rest of us in your piss. Thank God we have showers, because if we didn't, I could have been throwing fists. So yeah, another problem with the crowds and queues was that on the Friday night we wanted to see KTB, who was followed by Joyty, and then Sammy Virgil was on back to back with DJ EZ, and DJ EZ is one of my boyfriend's favourite DJs. So we'd finished watching Fatboy Slim. We left a couple of songs before the end, made our way to the temple, got there, and there was already a queue for KTB, even though we were there half an hour early. So we got in this queue, we were in it for nearly 2 hours. It was outrageous. You were sobering up in the queue, you had to keep drinking to top yourself back up. And we missed KTB completely, we missed Joyty completely, and we managed to get in about 10 minutes into Sammy Virgil's set. So yeah, we spent nearly 2 hours in a queue, which was horrendous, considering you spent 335 quid plus booking fee to be there and see the acts, to then have to queue on a 1 in, 1 out basis until you can get in. I thought that was just despicable, to be honest, because you paid a lot of money to see them acts. So that's something to bear in mind, and for that reason I do actually recommend Boomtown. If, you know, dance music is your thing, whether it's bassline, drum and bass, house, EDM, whatever, I would recommend Boomtown, because you're not going to have those queues for the stages and you're going to be able to see a lot more. So yeah, bear that in mind when you're thinking about getting a ticket. Another reason why I prefer Boomtown too is because they actually have way more performing arts than Glastonbury, and Glastonbury is supposed to be the performing arts festival on the globe, but I thought you got a lot more out of Boomtown, because if you look at the way that Shangri-La is laid out, and obviously you hear me in the video saying this is a lot like Bangla in Boomtown, there's just a lot more to do. So at Boomtown, if you knock on doors, there's secret stages behind the doors. We tried every door and none of them opened. We were pulling this string thinking it was a doorbell, trying to do it in different patterns, nothing. So I think they were just for show, maybe. If you know, then let me know in the comments, because we couldn't work them out and we tried all sorts. Yeah, and at Boomtown you get a lot of dancing, a lot of acting, challenges to do, like running after people with briefcases. You've got the job centre to go and find activities to do. There wasn't really any of that at Glastonbury. There was a guy in a lobster cage singing and playing a, what they call chord something, accordion, is that it? I don't know. But anyway, there was things like that, and princesses in little dome things, but there was no, well, I didn't see any abseiling off buildings, dancing, any sort of crazy wow factor performances like you get at Boomtown. So I actually think that Boomtown is a better performing arts festival. The one thing that you get at Glastonbury that you don't get in Boomtown is the sort of learning how to make magic wands, or making rings. I believe that's something you can do at Glastonbury. I did try looking for that after seeing it on the TPD TV vlog last year, but me and my partner couldn't find it anyway, but we tried. So yeah, so there is some arts there, but I just felt like there was not a fraction of the amount of performances in comparison with Boomtown. So one of the most special things about Glastonbury is the secret sets that go on. Now, my favourite performers of the weekend were Little Sims.
What's next? Yo, we'll be here for moms talking about, listen, I'm taking on my job, yes. We're greatness against, and we're resistant, homopoly-esque. Run through the jungle, they should've never let. Cut some wounds, a whole level professor. Yeah, big art collector, silent investor, film director. Hey,
Avril Lavigne. And Hamdi. Now Hamdi was on the Friday night at the Temple. Obviously we didn't leave there after having to have that horrible queue. But yeah, so we went and saw Hamdi, and he said he might be playing a secret set on the Sunday. So we were like, we're going to see him, we're going to find it. We couldn't find it. We were asking all over. Different staff members were telling us to go to different places and try there because they weren't sure. They even said they'd been given these passes but not told what they were for or where they could go to use them. So I thought, well, that's a bit annoying because why, like, surely the staff should know at least, but no, they said we were given these passes. It said blessed on them with a QR code, but they didn't know what they were for either. I'm assuming those were to go and see the secret sets, but we didn't know where the secret sets were. And we didn't even find Hamdi, which was pretty gutting. We saw in on his Instagram stories that it was in like a red, blue and yellow tent. Whether that's a crew bar, I do not know, because it seems that there is a lot of events that are crew only. So for that reason, I think the next time we go to Glastonbury, we would like to volunteer, because it seems like there's so many bars and secret stages you can go in if you're a crew member. And I think that they do that because, like I say, the capacity is that big. There's that many people that go to Glastonbury that not everybody gets to see their favourite artists, and they're stuck in queues and they're stuck in crowds, and some people could probably get really overwhelmed by it. I mean, towards the end of the festival, I just wanted to do this to get through, and I had to really keep my calm. Because I've got long legs, I walk a lot, I'm on a stride, and you're just like... And then someone will stop in front of you and there's people with pushchairs and loads of kids. I only saw one child having a good time at Glastonbury Festival. Do not take your children to Glastonbury. I think it's so selfish because you're just taking them there because you enjoy it and it's your favourite music acts. But for your kids, they can't see because there's people everywhere. It's overwhelming as fuck. They're not having a good time. It's loud. It's enough to give your child anxiety. So please, if you're under 12 years old, do not bring your kids to Glastonbury. Over 12, fine. My sister's 16, she loved it. She can navigate the place better than I could. But small children, especially ones in pushchairs, I just think that is crazy. And I don't know if anybody saw, but there was a 10-week-old baby at Annie Mac's set. I didn't go to it because it was on at like 11 AM and I was not in the festival for that time, other than maybe the Thursday. But yeah, no, just leave your kids at home, sort out some childcare. They don't want to be there, and yeah, we don't want your kids there either. And like I mentioned at the start of this, there's baggies everywhere. People are taking drugs. Why would you want your kids seeing that? So if they're under 12, please don't bring them to Glastonbury. Ah yes, back to secret sets. So we didn't know, but at Strummerville there was a set by Fred again. I fucking love Fred again, and I had no idea. On the video put on his story, everyone was sort of sat down and it looked like they weren't having the best of times, probably because they're dead and, just exhausted. But I was gutted because I would have still been going hard at 5, well, I was still going hard at 5 AM. We just had to calm it down because most artists finished and you're just sort of walking around and any music will do at that point. But yeah, I was gutted that I missed Fred again. And he was on at Strummerville. Now, I didn't watch a single act at Strummerville. My friend did, because there was some like futuristic hippie band that he likes, so he went there for that on his own. But yeah, I didn't really go to Strummerville because that's what I thought were there, just sort of hippie bands. So little gutted about, well, very gutted about that, and that's something I'll keep my eyes out on. I think the trick is, as much as you don't want to be on your phone at Glastonbury especially, you're going to have to go on Instagram, check your favourite artists' stories, see what they're putting on there, because I think that is, unless you really know, I think that's the only way you can find out where secret sets are going to be and who's going to be putting them on. One set I did see, I don't think it was supposed to be a secret set per se, but on the Friday, I just watched Declan McKenna at Woodsies and was on my way back to meet my boyfriend and mates at the tent in Arcadia. And as I was walking through, there was something called The Bug, and this guy who I'd never heard of before Glasgow called Zero was playing, and he was so sick. And there was lots of times when I was filming on my phone on Instagram, for some reason every time I tried to upload the story it said file format not supported, and it would only give me the option to delete or save draft. So I'd click save draft every time, obviously, but it didn't save a thing. So I'm absolutely gutted that half the footage I have is actually lost because my phone was on one, but my own fault because the storage is full, so I should just buy a new phone. So I mentioned earlier that two of my favourite acts were Little Sims and Avril Lavigne. They were both, Little Sims was on the Pyramid stage. The next day, Avril Lavigne was on the other stage. I was in a good place at Avril Lavigne. She was so fucking good. So nostalgic, I loved it. But apparently, it was really dangerous at other parts and it was overcrowded, and I've seen a lot of news articles saying that it was put on the wrong stage and it should have been on the Pyramid stage. And I think Glastonbury fucked that up quite a bit this year because, like I say, you shouldn't have to queue to see some of your favourite people. I really think they should do more market research, hold some pressure groups and see what people like and whether they have the capacity to hold the artists in that stage. A lot of people I've spoken to at Glastonbury have said they'd rather pay £600 or £700 for a ticket and have half the amount of people. I am one of those people too. I'd rather pay double the money and have half the amount of people if that's the reason for having such a large number of people. Everybody wants to see the favourite artist, so it's only fair really to do it that way, in my opinion. I was told when I was there that the perimeter was something like 9.6 miles, and that's why it's so big, but I got home, researched it, it said it's 1,500 acres, which in miles is like less than 2.5 square miles. So it's big, but it's not as big as people make out. You just do a lot of walking because going to and from the stages, throughout the whole 5 days we were there, I think we did 96 miles, which is mental. But lost some weight, which is always great. One good thing is Emily Evis posted on social media that 99% of tents were taken home, which is amazing. I'm so glad everybody did that. Although the 1% is still 2,100 tents. So take your tent home with you. And I do have a confession. We packed our tent up at like 5 or 6 in the morning on the Monday morning before going back for a nap and at the camper vans and leaving. Now, my boyfriend had been looking for tents to see if they'd been abandoned so we could take one. He went in one, he was like, it's abandoned. I was like, there's inflatable chairs and trolleys and stuff still here, babe. It's not abandoned. He was like, it is. Says, open the door then. There was a padlock. I was like, I told you. Anyway, so we give up on the idea because of the time of day it was like too difficult to distinguish which had been abandoned, which were owned by people like us who just wanted to make the most of the festival and stay out as late as possible. So as we're leaving, loads of people were leaving and loads of people were left on the Sunday too. In fact, if you did a rail and ride, good on you because you're helping the environment, but there was hours and hours of queuing to do, and that was at 5 or 6 in the morning. So I feel really sorry for all those people who decided to travel Lion because I bet they didn't get on the bus to the train station till really late. And the worst thing is it's a Monday morning during commuter time, so I felt so sorry for all those people in the queue. But anyway, as we were leaving, we saw this tent that was the same as ours, and it was just left there. It had been packed up, but the stuff was sort of hanging out the bag. So we thought, we'll take it. It's been abandoned. And then now we feel really guilty because we're actually thinking that it probably wasn't abandoned and someone just nipped off to the loo or something, didn't want to carry this big heavy 6-man tent. So if we stole your tent, drop me a message on Instagram and I will give it back. Sorry. We did get on the BBC and we did have some really good times. So head to the Debates with Mates podcast and watch the Glastonbury Festival special to find out about some of the experience and funny stories I had. But yeah, that is Glastonbury Festival 2024 in a nutshell. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you have any questions, again, drop them in the comments or message me on Instagram and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And hope you enjoyed this video.